welcome back. I'm Di, and today we're going to talk about how I did on my 2016 goals. I think what I want to start off with is a few stats. So these stats are from Goodreads. As of today, which is December 29th, I have read 160 books. 59 of those were novels, 3 of them were novellas, and the remaining 98 were manga volumes. I do count manga. Manga are books too, and so that is definitely more than I've read in 2015. Total number of pages read was 38,394. The shortest book I read was The Great Turkey Caper, which is the first book in the Agnes Barton Holiday Mysteries novella series by Madison Johns. This came in at 120 pages. The longest book I read was Fire and Ash, which was the fourth and final book in the Benny Imura series, or the Rotten Ruin series, by Jonathan Mayberry, and that came in at 544 pages. The most popular book on Goodreads that I read in 2016 was Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, and I think that has somewhere around 2,800,000 reads. The book that I read that was the least popular on Goodreads was Hayate Cross Blade, Volume 6, which had 47 reads. My average rating for 2016 was 3.8, and the book that I read that had the highest rating on Goodreads was Noragami, Volume 5. Now, at the end of 2015, I said that I had wanted to read 52 books. Obviously, I did bypass that number quite a bit, which was another one of my goals destroyed. I was supposed to read less in 2016, and I obviously did not do that. But, as I said, of the 160 books that I read, 59 of those were novels. And I think that's really great for me. I have never ever hit the 52 books in a year number without including manga. So somewhere in July, I think, I decided that I wanted to make sure that I hit 52 novels. No matter how many volumes of manga I read, I wanted to read 52 novels in the year. And so I did accomplish that. I also participated in a couple reading challenges, the first of which was Rock My TBR. This was a challenge where you were supposed to read at least one book off your physical shelf every month. I upped that to include one book off my Kindle Unlimited or Scribd subscription, and so I did complete this challenge. Of the 59 novels that I read this year, 33 of them were from my personal library, so that was really good. And then as far as Scribd or Kindle Unlimited reads, I did read 12 of those between those two subscriptions. So I did accomplish that goal. I did not renew my Scribd subscription this summer. They made several changes to their program that I didn't like, because I use their program a lot more for audiobooks, and though they were still allowing us to use credits on audiobooks, I didn't like the fact that they were telling us how we could use our credits. And I said as much in my closing comment to them. If we paid per month to get a certain number of credits to use however we wanted to, even if one credit was an ebook and 2 credits per audiobook, as long as we could use them the way we wanted to on the service, then that would have been fine for me. But they were only allowing us to use 1 credit for an ebook, or we could only borrow 1 ebook a month, and we got 3 ebook rentals. That just wasn't working for me. It didn't make any sense for me to keep paying for that subscription, especially when I could just borrow the audiobooks from my library. I had gotten the subscription because I liked the fact that they paid royalties to the authors, with each borrow, but I was wasting credits every month, and it just didn't make sense for me to keep it. So I did let it go. But if they do change their program to something where I could use my credits how I wanted to on their program, I would definitely rejoin the subscription, because I did enjoy it. They did have a good selection of books and audiobooks, and other than the changes that they made, I had no problems with that program. The Kindle Unlimited subscription I'm trying to use more. It's one of those things where I just kind of forget to use it, and then it's the end of the month and it's like, oh, I didn't read anything from Kindle Unlimited. So I'm trying to be a little bit more conscious about reading from that service. I think my 2-year subscription ends in July. As of right now, I am considering keeping that subscription. There are books on there that I'm still interested in reading, and the series that I mentioned back in my 2016 goals video as the one that made me want to get the subscription, I haven't actually started yet. So I really need to get into that before my subscription ends, hopefully. As for 2017, I am going to still do a challenge like this in regards to my physical TBR. I really need to start reading from my own personal library more. I had mentioned in my 2016 goals video that I thought I would be going to the library less, and that didn't happen, but I did keep accumulating books. So I've been looking around for a different challenge for the TBR issue that I have, and I came across the Beat the Backlist challenge just the other day. So I think I'm going to do that one. It does offer some mini challenges that'll help keep me motivated to pick up books for my TBR. And since it's a backlist type of TBR, it's perfect for me because I don't really read new releases, and so all the books that I have are old releases, and even if I picked it up new, which I'm not one to pick up brand new books usually, it's probably old by now. So I am going to join that challenge. I just need to create my blog post and my tentative TBR for that, and you'll be able to see the books that I am hoping to read off my personal library. So Beat the Backlist challenge is going to be the TBR challenge that I will be participating in 2017. They're also doing some fun Hogwarts geared mini challenges, and so I am going to be joining Ravenclaw House and trying to accumulate some points for that. So it does look like it's going to be really interesting and keep me motivated to read my own personal library. So I'm really looking forward to getting into that one. The other challenge that I participated in was finishing the series, and in this one I challenged myself to finish or become current on between 3 to 6 series in 2016, and I did accomplish that as well. I will let you know which series those are, but I will probably only put the first book in each series up here so that you get some kind of visual for that. So the first series that I completed was the Ghost Hunter Mystery series by Victoria Laurie. You know that I gush about this series all the time. It has been one of my favorites over the last few years, and it did end in early 2016. It will definitely be one that I will revisit sometime in my lifetime, and I will probably also collect it to own for my personal library. Really sad that this one ended, but I hear she's working on one that fans of that series will enjoy, so I'm looking forward to that one when it does come out. The next series that I finished was the Rotten Ruin, or Benny Imura series by Jonathan Mayberry. That one I buddy read with my good friend Raul over at Latin Lector. This series was also amazing. I didn't think I was gonna like it because it was about zombies, but it turned out to be a series that was about more than just the zombies and fighting zombies and trying to stay alive. So I really appreciated that series. It was very engaging and exciting, and I'm glad that I had somebody to read it with because I needed that outlet to gush about things or talk about certain points. And again, just another really great series. I plan on getting into the author's Joe Ledger series in 2017, so I'm really looking forward to that, especially because Joe Ledger was introduced in a couple of these books in the Rotten Ruin series, so that's really exciting. Another series that I finished was Blackbird. This is by Kanoko Sakura Koji. This was a manga series that I had started in 2015 and I finished it this year. I really enjoyed it, though I can definitely see how somebody might have problems with it or find some of the content problematic. Then I finished the Maze Runner trilogy by James Dashner. This one didn't end well for me. I kind of felt like this series didn't need to be a series by the time I finished The Death Cure, but I am glad that I finally finished this series. I do consider this a completed series, even though I have not read the 2 novellas, and I am going to, in the future, consider series complete if I have read all of the books and not the novellas. But yeah, this one I read the 3 novels, and I ended with The Death Cure this year, and I did like the series, but yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that one. Then I got caught up on the Witchcraft series by Juliet Blackwell. This, I read volume 8, which was the newest release earlier this year, and I am really enjoying this series. Also, there were things that happened in this last installment that were very interesting and progressed the story of some of our characters, and I'm really looking forward to the next one. The other series I got current on was the Other series by Anne Bishop. I did read Marked in Flesh in 2016, and again, the next one is coming out in the spring, and I think it's in the spring. I hope it's in the spring. I'm super excited for it. Slow burn romance between Meg and Simon. We keep getting closer and closer to something happening, and yet nothing has actually happened yet, but I do hope that by the time she finishes their storyline that it goes the way that I hope it goes. But I do hear she's going to continue the Other series with a story from another set of characters after she finishes Meg's and Simon's story. So yeah, still looking forward to reading that next volume. Really love this series. I love this series. I do recommend it to several people. If you haven't read it, definitely check it out. So those were the 6 series I either completed or got current on, and then I also completed other series that I actually started in 2016. So I didn't start off counting those series towards this goal, but after I finished the 6th or got caught up on the 6th series to complete my challenge, I did keep track of other series that I finished. So I finished The Bloody Kiss duology by Kazuko Furumiya. This was a manga duology, very cute, about vampires. Enjoyed it. Then I read the Chronicles of Narnia series, all 7 books, with Lee over totally.net, who I will link down in the description box below. We buddy read the entire series over 2016. Other than The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which is the one that I was most familiar with, I think The Horse and His Boy was definitely my favorite series, my favorite book in the Chronicles of Narnia series, and I'm glad that I finally read it for the first time in my life. Another series I started and completed in 2016 was The Dreaming. This is a manga trilogy by Queenie Chan. This one follows a pair of twins, and they go off to this remote boarding school that's like really in the middle of nowhere, and there's a mystery at the school. I really enjoyed this one. Then I finished Phantom Thief Jean by Arina Tanemura. This is a manga series with 7 volumes. It's kind of a retelling of the Joan of Arc story, kind of. Artwork, again, was beautiful. I love Arina Tanemura's artwork, and the story was interesting. Not one of my favorites, but still enjoyable. And then I completed Blood Plus. This one had, I think, 5 volumes. It's also a manga series by Asuka Katsura. I was already familiar with this story because I had watched the 50-episode anime, and this manga did follow the happenings in the anime, or the other way around, vice versa. I don't know. They were close to each other. The manga was obviously much more condensed. There were a few things that happened the same but different, which I thought was interesting and kept me engaged in reading the manga. Again, I really enjoyed this series, and I might look into the follow-up series to read in 2017, but Blood Plus, the anime, is one of my favorites. I do own the first half of the series on DVD, and reading the manga was definitely another way to consume a story that I had already enjoyed. So again, a really good one, and I'm glad I got to it. So in 2017, I'm gonna do another type of challenge like this. I do have several series where I'm just one book short of completing them, and I really need to get those taken care of. So I will be joining another challenge like this, but I'm not sure which one I want to join yet, or if I'm going to join one at all. But I'm definitely going to be finishing some series in 2017. I have 4 pages of unfinished series. I wrote them all down. I put progress bars on all of them, so I have good visual markers as to how many books I have left in each series. So I'm going to try to knock some of those out in 2017. I'm probably going to strive to finish at least 1 or 2 more than I did in 2016. So keep your eye out. I will let you know what I decide to do with that, either in a video, on Twitter, or in a blog post. But I will definitely be doing some kind of series finishing challenge in 2017. I had mentioned that I wanted to do more buddy reads in 2016, and I did do lots of buddy reads, especially with my good friend Raul at Latin Lector. We buddy read a lot of stuff together, and it's just super enjoyable. We always gush about the same types of things, or he points out something that I didn't see, or I'm able to point something out to him that he didn't notice. We just have really great banter, and I'm glad that he has become a good friend of mine. So thanks, Raul, for being my buddy reading buddy. And I did some with Lee. I told you I read the Chronicles of Narnia with her in 2016. We will be conquering the Lord of the Rings trilogy in 2017. Both of us had not read the books before. She read The Hobbit, I think, in 2016. I have not read The Hobbit, so I may try that one before we get started with our buddy read of The Lord of the Rings. So I will be definitely doing some buddy reads with her in 2017, and I also buddy read a couple with my friend Janie over at the Bookworms Buddy, and I did one buddy read with Janice at Janice at the beginning of 2016. So I did do quite a bit of buddy reads, hoping to do more. If you are looking to buddy read something that's on my list, let me know. I will link my Goodreads TBR. If anything looks interesting to you and you'd like to buddy read with me, just drop me a line, write a comment, message me, direct message me on Twitter, anywhere on my social media. Just get in contact me and we'll set that up. Another thing I mentioned in 2015 as a goal that I wanted to accomplish in 2016 was to do more crochet or knit projects. I did do a couple, and I'll show you some pictures here of things that I have made. There are a couple things that I finally worked out as far as things that I had floating around in my head that I mentioned. I'm not ready to show those to you yet, but I did work on them, and so I'm happy to have accomplished that. As far as my Korean drama watching goes, I did watch some, but I still did not delegate the time to watching as many as I thought I would watch in 2016. I did watch a few though, so I am happy with that. My favorite one has to be Descendants of the Sun. I love that drama. I watched it twice in 2016. I don't think it was even a month apart from my rewatching. It was that good. If you're interested, I think it is still on Netflix, and I will link it down below. So some other things that I want to accomplish or to happen in 2017 is that I want to read a few more classics. I did read Anne of Green Gables and The Secret Garden in 2016, and so I do want to read a few more. I'm really lacking in my classics reading experience. I just tend not to pick them up. Not that they're not available to me or that I'm not interested in them. I always find some excuse not to read them. I will be endeavoring to read a few more classics. I'm not going to set a number, but something that I'm hoping will help me is that I want to collect the Word Cloud Classics editions, and so I'm not sure how that's going to work because I kind of want to, and this leads into another thing that I want to do, lessen my book buying. I'm not going on a book buying ban, because if there's something that I really want, I'm going to get it, and there's no point in putting a ban on myself and then just saying that I failed or I cheated or whatever. I'm not about that. But I do want to lessen my book buying. 2016 has been a book buying year. I have bought more books in 2016 than I have the whole time that I've been on Goodreads, which has been 4 or 5 years. I do create shelves, separate shelves every year on Goodreads, and books that I acquired during the year I add to that shelf. So I know relatively what I got, when I got, and how many I got in each year. And 2016 had a lot. So I do want to lessen book buying. I don't usually buy a lot of new books. I will mostly go for secondhand books from either a library book sale or a used bookstore. But in 2016, I got a Barnes & Noble membership. And that has increased my book buying of brand new books quite a bit, as well as being introduced to Right Stuff, where I have been collecting manga And so I will still be allowing myself to buy manga from Goodreads for series that I have started collecting, and series that are pre-ordered and all of that stuff. But for series that I don't currently have, I'm going to try not to add those to my collection. I will try to borrow them from the library first, and if I really, 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 really have to have it, then I will allow myself to buy it. But right now, I will only purchase from Right Stuf book or manga that I have already started collecting. As for other books from Barnes & Noble, they do send me coupons every once in a while because I'm a member, and so I will definitely be using those to help me buy the Word Cloud Classics editions that I want to obtain. And I will still also allow myself to buy something off the Manga Monday, which is the 50% off selections every Monday, because that's a really good deal. And so we'll definitely be lessening my book buying. If I really need to have something new or I'm itching to buy something, then I'll try to trade a book in at the little free library that is close to me. In 2016, I did start my book club, which is the first in a series, Cozy Mystery Book Club, and that has been going really well. We're really laid back about our reading, and even I have had a hard time, like I said, picking up a book just because I just don't feel like reading this month. But you know, everybody's just real understanding and cool about when we discuss things, and we're on kind of our own time. If you want to talk about a book that we read previously, you just pop in and, you know, start a discussion. If you have read one of the selections already, people pop in and talk about it. We just talk about it as we go. So I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying getting to know some of the series that have been in my collection or have been on my radar for quite a while, and having people to talk to about it, and just bringing more awareness to the cozy mystery genre in general. There was a Save Our Cozies readathon, I think in April of 2016, that brought awareness, because a lot of the cozy mystery series were getting canceled by publishers, and I just really enjoy cozy mysteries. If you want to join us, we do have discussion threads up in the Mystery Madness Goodreads group, and I do post the books that we have read in the library shelf in the group. So feel free to come and chat with us or join us in any one of our reads. I will be continuing to pull at least 2 books every month from the jar, which is over here. Or feel free to suggest one if there is a series that you're interested in starting. We do only read first books in the series. But yeah, that has been really enjoyable for me, and I'm looking forward to continuing that in 2017. And the last thing that I have planned for my reading in 2017 is that I'm going to have some themed reading months. This is just something that I'm going to do to kind of help me read things that I've been meaning to read, but just either don't find the opportunity to or skip over it. So this is going to be like focused themes for me. So my first themed reading month is going to be in February, and that is going to be Flashback February books, basically for this month of February coming up. I want to read books that I had enjoyed in my school years. So you may know that I do have a collection of R.L. Stine and Christopher Pike books that I had read growing up. I still have them, and I've been meaning to get to them, and I just have not. So I do want to knock some of those off in February. And there are also books from other authors that I want to read that I did love in my intermediate and high school years. Those are from Joan Lowry Nixon and Diana Ho. And I want to reread The Phantom Tollbooth. So there's a lot of books that I could fit into there, but basically I'm going to be reading books that I loved in my intermediate and high school years. So that's Flashback February books. If you'd like to join me, feel free. I'll be using the hashtag FlashbackFebBooks. I don't think anybody's using that right now, so that's my plan for February. In March, the Mystery Madness group, I believe, will still be doing March Mystery Madness, which is a month-long mystery reading month. So mysteries of all kinds. Last year we had different categories for different types of mysteries. So there was one for cozy mysteries. There was one for like Agatha Christie mysteries. There was one for paranormal mysteries. So I'll definitely be participating in March Mystery Madness. And like I said, there is a cozy mystery category, or there was last year. So since we will be doing March Mystery Madness, I am only going to be pulling one book out of the jar that month, unless I get a recommendation from somebody. But there will only be one Book One Cozies Club book for March, so that we can all participate in March Mystery Madness. And then in May, I was going to do Manga May and just focus on manga throughout the month. But it's also Asian Pacific Heritage Month, so I have been acquiring slowly a collection of Asian type books. So I have some non-fiction books and I have some fiction. I have lots of fiction books. I also have some Pacific Islander books that I want to read during that month. So that's what I'll be focusing on during May. And so as of right now, those are the themed months that I have planned for the first half of 2017. If you want to join me, feel free. I don't have hashtags for anything set up yet except for February. There might be one for March Mystery Madness. I think it might just be hashtag March Mystery Madness. And then I'm not sure what I want to use for May, but yeah, those are going to be my themed reading months for the first half of 2017. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue that in the second half. We'll have to see how that goes for me. I am quite a bit of a mood reader, so I'm not sure how well I'm going to be able to stick to the theme in those months, but I definitely want to try it because there are things that I really want to get to, and I think having the themed month is going to help me a lot. So I think that's it as far as things I want to accomplish in 2017. Overall, in 2016, I think I did pretty well with the goals that I set for myself, and obviously still need work on balancing my hobbies, but I'm happy with what I was able to accomplish in 2016, and I'm excited to be participating in other challenges and things in 2017. I've had this channel for a little over a year now, and I really appreciate all the comments and subscribers, and I'm looking forward to chatting with more of you in 2017. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I hope you all have an amazing 2017, and until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.